All right guys, welcome back to level 2 glute exercises for runners. If you haven't watched level 1, go back and start with those. Those are going to be your fundamental glute exercises. Level 2 are going to be your intermittent or next level glute exercises. They are going to start really challenging your glute strength and single leg stability, which is exactly what you need to be a strong, healthy and injury-free runner. So in this video, we're going to go through 5 level 2 exercises. All you need is a resistance band, no other equipment, and if you're ready, let's get started. All right guys, for this first exercise, you're going to need a chair. You can use a couch as well if you don't have a good sturdy chair that you can do this on. And you're also going to need your resistance band. So start off by putting your resistance band through your feet and around your knees. So the resistance band's going to sit just there. And then you're actually just going to have your head and shoulders resting on your chair like this. This is going to be your starting position. You can have your head resting down, or I prefer to just tuck my chin in and just have my head lifted up slightly. Hands are across my chest. My feet, knees and hips are all in line here, so make sure your knees aren't collapsing in. You're pulling that band apart with your knees and resting comfortably on your heels. So the movement is going to be just this hip thrust or bridging motion. So lifting your hips up, creating that straight line from your knees all the way to your shoulders, coming back down. As you do the lift, squeeze those glute muscles and hold for a second, then come back down. Squeeze, hold, come back down. I'm keeping that tension on the band pretty steady the whole time, so my knees aren't moving. Make sure you don't overlift. That's going to start putting strain and tension on your lower back. So you're only lifting as high as your hips will lift. We don't need to exaggerate that movement. Lift, squeeze, come back down. 8 to 10 reps of this one. All right, exercise 2, you're going to need your resistance band and a chair or something to hold onto like a kitchen bench. So you're going to loop the resistance band through your feet and just above your knees. And then we're going to do a side lift movement. So going to face the other way, holding onto something, you're going to lift one leg up and then bring it back. So it's a pretty small movement, and the main thing with this exercise is I don't want you tilting your whole body when you do that. So you stay upright and it's just that leg moving out to the side. Little movements out to the side and back in. If that feels pretty easy and you can control it pretty well, move the band to around your ankles instead. So with the band being lower down, the resistance is going to be on that longer lever of your leg, which is going to make the exercise much harder. So with this movement, you're doing the exact same thing, letting that leg go out to the side, pulling on that resistance band, but not moving the rest of your body. For this next exercise, you won't need any equipment. We're just going to use your mat. So you're going to lie on your side. We're going to start with a side plank. So knees are going to be bent, elbow is directly under your shoulder. Make sure it's not out here. Nice and tucked in under your shoulder, knees bent. You're going to prop yourself up into a side plank, lifting those hips up as high as you can. Don't let that happen, lift right up. With your top leg, you're actually going to straighten it, and then we're going to do little lifts with that top leg. So you're just holding still in this side plank position and working this top hip at the same time. You're going to feel those obliques on the bottom and your hips on the top. This is one of my favorite exercises for runners. It is such a good one to work on your pelvic control and core stability. Make sure as you do this one, you're not dropping, so you're not getting tired and dropping your hip, and you're really staying really stable and strong through that top hip. So you don't need to lift it all the way up, only lifting as far as you can comfortably control it. Going for 8 to 10 reps on each side. For this next exercise, you're going to be in all fours with the bands around your knees. So start by looping the band through your feet and wriggle it up to just above your knees. Then get into an all fours position, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. And the movement is going to be this side bending hip lift. So you're just lifting your hip up, keeping your knee bent, and pulling on that resistance band as you lift your hip up. The most important thing with this exercise is that you're not letting yourself tilt or rotate as you do this. So you're really trying to isolate that movement to just the hip that's lifting up. And you're going to go for 8 to 10 reps on each side. All right, for this last exercise, you won't need any equipment. We're just doing this on a mat. So I'm going to show you the exercise and then I'll talk you through it. So this is what the exercise looks like. It's called the running man. So you're going to stand on one leg. Make sure your weight is on your heels, not your toes. So weight on your heels, toes nice and light. With your other leg, you're going to reach back as far as you can and at the same time move this hip backwards. So you're going to start feeling that tension through this hamstring and this glute here. So weight is on your heel, moving back, reaching as far as you can. And then as you come up, you're going to let that leg come all the way up. Your arm movements are going to be doing a running motion. So moving that leg back, stretching, creating tension through that hip, coming up and controlling it. Move back, control up. Pretty simple, but getting that right technique with the hip movement is a little bit tricky when you first start this one. So take your time, make sure that you feel comfortable in that movement and that as you're extending your leg back, you feel the tension through that glute. There you have it, 5 level 2 glute exercises. Give those a go. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below as always and let me know what you think. See you for level 3.